Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Fool, the green man of spring. This is really, really nice, especially considering some of the past readings that we've had for you. This is a great omen. This is a fresh start. This is a lot of freedom. This is a lot of vibrant, healthy, productive, curious energy. Yeah, very lighthearted, very playful energy coming into your life right now. This is nice. This is fun, right? So we'll make it a fun reading. Let's put that into some context, right? Let's see what we're doing with this energy, with this freedom, with this. There's a kind of a bounce in your step right now, right? And look at that, an Ace of Cups. We could be really prancing toward a new love interest in our life. I think that what we are doing is we're setting off on this quest now to really find our true spiritual purpose. Find our holy grail, right? Find all of the love, all of the healing that we want, that we need, everything that our soul is after, right? This is that quintessential journey of life. Yeah, the Holy Fool setting out on the quest for the Holy Grail. We've got a Five of Cups down there. We've got the Eon. Judgment, rebirth, reawakening. This was the baptism by fire. This is in the past position. I feel like you just got out of a very difficult situation. I feel like it was very taxing, very trying. Yeah, this is a trial by fire, okay? And look, you've come out of it. And especially considering the last, I don't know if it was the last reading or the reading before that. This is very significant. We've got Emperor energy. And we've got more depth. This is like the well. You're discovering this well, and it really runs deep, right? Very, very deep here. Let's keep going. We've got a Five of Wands, Five of Cups. Got the Luster Strength card. We've got the Chariot card. And we've got a Queen of Pentacles. Very nice. This isn't just a kind of haphazard, chaotic wandering. This is really purposeful. This is something that's leading you toward maybe toward a new home. Yeah. The Cancer energy with the Chariot card, the Queen of Pentacles has this idea of home, right? It kind of reinforces this idea of traveling, of finding that place in the world that's yours, finding where you belong, putting down roots, establishing yourself. The Queen of Pentacles is your future self, right? This is you in your home. This is you in your surroundings, in your environment, living your best life, and kind of looking back on today as the moment that it all started, right? Where you set out on this path of pursuing your deepest meaning of life, not anybody else's meaning of life, your own meaning, your own value, what you want, what your soul desires. Yeah. And we're doing so with a lot of fiery energy. And the Five of Wands as well. You're doing it with a lot of authority. You are you're not letting anybody else tell you any differently. Yeah, I'd like to select the mystery card before we continue, because I want to look around the room here and see all of the elements that we're dealing with today. So the mystery card's going to be this one. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We always have good luck with Bob Ross, don't we? Happy little Bob. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation, all right? If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together, right? It's an interactive group exercise of intuition. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. We know we've got major arcana cards. We've got some fire. And then we've got water. So we've got, let's see, now let's take it by element here. This is fire, this is fire, this is fire, and this is fire, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fiery cards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 watery cards, right? This is the Cancer Chariot. That's water. Yeah. 4 fire, 4 water. We got an air and an earth. I think that's pretty well balanced. That's a nice kind of, that's a nice union of opposites here with the fire and the water. I think it's really this fiery, creative, spiritual, powerful, confident energy with which we are pursuing that love, that passion, that meaning, that depth of experience in life. Yeah. It feels like you are really, and we look down here with the fives, 5 of cups, 5 of wands, water and fire. It's evenly matched. Even these two are balanced, yeah. That you're, you understand that it's going to be a rough journey. There's going to be ups and downs. You know, you're going to have to regulate your emotions the same way you regulate your kind of fiery, creative, willful energy, right? We have to know when to accept things and yield and allow the flow to happen. We have to also understand when it's appropriate to dial up the heat and start really advocating for ourselves. You know, this is the card that changes what it can. This is the card that accepts what it can't change. And I think this is a very wise way to go about things for you. Yeah, especially when you're in this kind of, this fresh start energy. This Fool really just wants to have the experience. Wants to go, and nothing sticks to the Fool either. We go through ups and downs, good days, bad days. We make friends, we lose friends, you know, we lose people, we gain people. None of that sticks to the Fool. The Fool is just that zero. It's that hollow tube through which experience flows. Okay? And so I feel like this is really your wide-eyed, curious, adventurous spirit that is just ready for everything life has to offer. Yeah, there's a certain vibrance in you right now. It really does feel like springtime, where everything is just bursting with life. And it's going to be intense, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of new experiences for you. I think you've gotten out of something that was quite limiting, honestly. And so maybe now we're ready for a lot of new experiences. You're ready to really figure out what your holy grail is. Maybe we don't really know exactly what we want in life. And that maybe is why we've got the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is trying to understand what that grail is for them. And you're doing that by exploring, by being curious, by wandering, by trying many, many new things. And that being said, maybe you are literally like thinking, okay, I'm going to move, I'm going to start a new job, I'm going to like learn a new skill, I'm going to start a new hobby, I'm going to meet new people, all of these new things, a lot of firsts. Yeah. A lot of fresh starts, a lot of newness. And it's all being done with this very playful, very, very happy and excited energy. Like you just can't wait to wake up in the morning and start something, you know? We've got, of course, the Emperor up above everything, and the Emperor is very important. The Emperor looks very serious, right? Takes things very, very seriously. And that's important because the Fool is kind of the opposite. The Fool doesn't take anything seriously. So the Fool needs a little bit of direction. Now, we don't have any swords cards here. So we don't have a particular direction in mind. You don't have a plan. You don't have a blueprint. And that's okay. Nature doesn't always run that way, right? We think of springtime. It's not so orderly and organized. It's just a sudden burst of life everywhere. It's just kind of chaotic. Well, that's okay. We don't always have to have a plan, but you do need to have discipline. You do need to have a sense of direction. And that's where the Emperor comes in, very stern, very serious, right? To kind of give the Fool a little bit of boundaries, you know. And that's going to be hard for you because, of course, the Chariot card is the card to me that talks about boundaries. And that's the obstacle. We need to have boundaries, but the Fool doesn't want boundaries. It's kind of like we have to be our own stern parent because we have to set some sort of limitations or operating parameters within which we can freely explore and figure out what we want to do to get to this kind of best life. This is like at the end of the year or the end of the, I don't know, maybe it's a month, 5 years, whatever your kind of timeline is. This is us settling down, and the Fool has kind of matured now and has done its wandering, you know, done its kind of world traveling and has settled down here now. And there's no regrets. Sometimes with a Queen of Pentacles, we'll think, well, there's some regret there. You know, our future self is kind of wishing that we, in the present moment, would have done more, would have done something else, something different. I feel like you've already gone through that kind of experience, and now you're saying, okay, I'm not going to disappoint my future self here, right? Not going to disappoint that. So I feel like there's really nothing that can stop you. And indeed, we don't want to be stopped. What we need to be is, again, disciplined. We need to take it seriously a little bit. Now, you can take your life absolutely seriously, and you can also be extremely carefree and playful. You can be both at the same time, right? We don't have to think in a linear, logical, rational way. We can be all things at once. We can be opposites. We can be very serious and very disciplined and very structured, but then also we can just be flying by the seat of our pants. You know, I'm not really sure what that means, but we could do it. We can hold two opposing energies at the same time. You know, in the same way that we know that we are absolutely perfect the way we are, but we also got a lot of work to do, right? The universe, absolutely perfect the way it is. Also, it needs some work, right? There's a lot of progress that can still be made. So we don't have to be one or the other, and the Fool is really able to flow between energies effortlessly. It's kind of like the magician in that way. And I kind of think that the magician is really the combination of a Fool and an Emperor, right? The Fool is that creative force. It is that breath of spirit, right? And then the Emperor is the one that can direct that where it needs to go. So together these cards kind of make the magic, right? Which is this luster strength card, the control that we have over our divine natures, over our own Holy Spirit. We have this kind of, we have the ability to harness that creative divine energy and build the kind of life, the kind of home that we want. We know kind of how to keep that contained, how to keep it in a certain pathway to get to some goals that we want. Now, I think the further we get on this path, the more goals you're going to have. The more you're going to refine what your idea of your Holy Grail means. You know, I think here we kind of know what it doesn't mean. We know what we've gotten away from. I feel like this was a bad situation. This was something that like stripped you down to your very bare essence here with this Fool energy. Stripped you all the way down to zero. But that's a good thing because now we can start again. We've got the 0 and we've got the 1. Right? The Fool is 0. The Ace is the 1. We've got 0 and 1. We're back to basics. Back to the very beginning of things. The origin of our world. The origin of our universe. This was a destruction. This is a creation. Okay? And you know pain. You know sorrow. You're no stranger to those things. But you're not letting them stick to you. You're not letting them accumulate and and drag you down in this energy. When stuff starts getting a little bit too, I don't know, we're getting too identified with our emotions, then we can turn up the heat a little bit. You know, it's kind of, we're cooking here. This is kind of us in the kitchen. We know when to add a little bit more water. We know when to regulate the heat. This is just fine. We're cooking a nice pot of gumbo here in the middle there. What is this past situation with this Eon card? I don't quite know, but thinking back to some of your last readings, it wasn't a very pleasant situation, and I think that it was a very delicate situation the way that you were able to get out of this. Okay, something came to an end, and it was kind of chaotic. But you were able to follow the guidance of spirit, of your own divine energy. We made it through this doorway. You chose to go through this doorway and shut the door behind you, And now we're in this era of life where we are safe and free to explore consciousness, to explore our existence, to be free, spiritually free, right? To figure out what we want, where we want to go, where we're going to end up in a month, a year, 5, 10 years from now, right? Queen of Pentacles kind of energy. Let's talk about the path of the serpent here. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's good for the channel, and I appreciate that, of course, right? Keeps me here doing this every day, which I really love. The Five of Wands in the general energy here. This is your ability to kind of regulate the discipline. We know when we are kind of getting a little bit too wild, and we got to turn it down a little bit, right? We also know when we're kind of sinking into a little bit too much of this kind of passive energy. See, the Fool, we think of the Fool as someone who's just wandering through life without much of a plan or any direction. And I almost sometimes wonder if the Fool is really not moving at all, just standing in one, just existing in one space, and reality is just kind of flowing through it, right? That it's not us that's moving, it's the world around us traveling through us. It's experience and time and everything going through our point of consciousness, right? It's kind of like a child in a car who thinks, is the car moving or is the world moving outside the car? And so with the fire and the water here, it's almost as if we need to be able to speed up or slow things down. When we start getting a little bit too much of this Five of Cups, kind of getting in this too much of a passive state, I would say, then we know we need to turn up the heat. Maybe we need to bring things up to a boil. Maybe we need to put a little bit more effort into things. Maybe we need a little bit more discipline, a little bit more direction. We need to have some goals in mind, right? The Fool doesn't have any goals, remember. I think the goals are coming from up here. We have to have the outcome. We have to kind of know what we want to achieve. We don't have to know right away. We don't have to know exactly, and we don't have to know exactly how to do it. But it's good to eventually get some kind of plan generally worked out, right? If we're kind of idling too much and we're just being tossed around by the waves a little too much, then it's good to really start the engine and point the ship in a certain direction and try to hold the wheel pretty steady. Okay? We don't really have to know where we're going, but it's good to at least be in control of the boat. Yeah. And so there's this, it's a very delicate balance with the fire and the water, and I think they're really evenly matched here in you. And I think you know how much control, it's like with this lust or strength card. The magic comes from knowing exactly how much power, energy, whatever kind to apply to whatever object to get whatever goal you want, right? It's using your will to affect change in the world around you. That's magic. In order to do that, we have to know what kind of force, in what quantity, what degree, and where to send that force. That's the lust or strength card, is knowing that formula. Trial and error, figuring it out, working it out. The Fool doesn't care about that stuff. For that, we need the Emperor. The Emperor is the one then that says, okay, let's do, it kind of turns into a math equation, right? This kind of force in this quantity aimed in that direction. Let's see what happens, right? It's like chemistry or something, which I'm not too good at. And that's magic. And I think once we figure out the key, once we understand how to apply our natural talents, for one thing, our own energy and vitality, how to apply that to the world around us to get what we want, well, we kind of have to know what we want first. But then it's kind of, it unlocks the secret of the universe where now it's like, I can do anything I want. If I know what I want, I know what I'm capable of, then there's really nothing stopping you. But we have to know what we want, and we have to know what we're capable of. So we have to know ourselves. We have to have some sort of intentionality in things in order to figure out what our natural abilities are. And if we want something that we don't have the corresponding natural ability for, well, then we can go and learn. Yeah. And we have to have that kind of control. And also with the Chariot card, there's some learning going on there. This is the ability to be obedient to the will of the Emperor. The Emperor says you've got to go and learn this new skill or develop this skill or talent. Well, then you do it. Sometimes it's hard for the Fool to want to do that. The Fool says, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to sit there and have to learn something that's boring, right? I just want to go and do it. Well, the Chariot gives us that ability to just kind of obey, to just say, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't want to be here, but I'm going to make myself want to be here. There's all these different sides of us. I think all of the major arcana really represent different personalities within us. Sometimes I get that suspicion. So the Emperor is telling the Fool to go to school and learn what needs to be done, to have the commitment and the dedication to see something through till the end, even if we don't really like being there. It's for a very good purpose. Yeah. So a lot is going on in your life right now, and the future really is, it's unlimited for one thing. And there's just a lot of exploration that you need to go through. We've got to learn what we want now. You've got this freedom, I think it was hard-earned, this freedom. Now what are you going to do with it, right? Where are you going to manifest your power and your magic? What is your Queen of Pentacles experiencing? What is your future self? Who do you want that to be? Where do you want to be? And what is this person doing? We have to ask ourselves those questions. I'd like to ask the mystery card. So we're going to take a look at this now. We're going to thank you, Bob Ross. Take a little rest. I think we need a little bit of air. We need just a little bit of direction. Maybe an Ace of Swords. Yeah. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. Maybe we need the Art or Temperance card, your power card, which does show the balance of kind of the fire and water, right? The union of opposites. Let's see what we have. A Queen of Swords. Well, this is all right, too. At least we've got some air in there. We've got that Ace of Swords that they're holding. And it's the Queen of Swords. So we've got another queen. We've got the three queens here. So there's water in here, there's water in here, and there's water in here. So really, it's all about what we're discovering, this Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is the motivation for all of, it's the source of all of our desires, all of our spiritual will. It's the source of everything here is that water energy. What we're manifesting, our future self, is dependent on this water energy, the source of our spiritual desires. And the plan that we formulate to manifest that is, again, dependent. Everything comes from the Ace. Everything comes from that well of spiritual water. And the Queen of Swords, the plan that we're going to eventually develop, is the bridge between the well and the reality, between the source and the manifestation. Manifesting this spiritual desire, right? Water to earth, going through this planning phase and this kind of structure and organization and the communication too. We have to be able to think about it, think about what we want, and have that conversation with ourselves, and to formulate that kind of a strategy or a plan and execute it. Yeah. So this might not have been the most exciting confirmation card, but we've got that air energy now. Now all of this can be sorted out and can be consolidated. We can think about it, we can talk about it, and we can make a plan. There's no rush. You're in control here, nobody else. Yeah. And now we're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around for that, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius every Wednesday and Sunday. You can come back and see me again tomorrow. I will be here. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, well, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.